Sara Carter, investigative reporter, Fox News contributor, is with us. We also have the IG report. First of all, what are your thoughts about Singapore?
Well, it's incredible. I mean, this is the first time that we are going to have a sitting president meet with Kim Jong-un and negotiate what is possibly the denuclearization of North Korea. So this is an incredible moment in history. I'm so excited to be here. Like Linda, I was able to talk to people on the streets today. So many of them are hopeful that something will come out of this, at least the very first steps towards peace, Sean. And I think that is what we've got to be looking at here. This is the very
How come nobody talks to me when I'm out on the street? They're like, they run in the other direction.
They're running. They're running for their dear lives.
I do find the city pretty incredible. I mean, it's a beautiful city.
So
a modern
clean.
city, clean city. We walked through a whole radio and TV team. Everybody walked through the mall. I went to a local pharmacy to pick up all the stuff that I was supposed to bring that I forgot to bring. Sarah did a good job helping me find the right shampoo.
It was a difficult process, but
it really was. I mean, I'm like, don't they have 3-in-1? I want 3-in-1.
There was no 3-in-1.
I know, so I had to go through the difficult process, showering the old-fashioned way. All right, let's go to this letter. And let's go to the never-ending obstruction, and let's get a preview of what's going to happen this week with the IG report.
Well, I think what we have to look at right now is the push by the House Intelligence Committee, particularly Chairman Devin Nunes, and he is once again threatening Rod Rosenstein with a subpoena. We've seen this over and over again over the last year, just in order to have oversight and to get to the documents that they need with regard to the FBI's investigation into alleged collusion between President Trump and Russia. Remember, these are specific documents, Sean. These were the documents that they requested in April that Rod Rosenstein has refused to turn over to the House committee.
But these are specific dates, times, very specific documents, so they think they know what's in these documents.
I believe they know what's in those documents to some extent. They just need to look at them. They need to understand what was the beginning of this investigation. We've already shown, and I think they've already shown through their investigation, that there's no way that this investigation started when they said it did, which was July 2016. There is no way that it started at that point in time. They believe it started months prior, if not in 2015, and they need to look at those documents. This is the oversight of what has been going on with the American public. Rod Rosenstein, the DOJ, the FBI, even Christopher Wray, the new FBI director, has refused to cooperate with Congress. These are our elected officials. We are taxpayers. We have a right to know what was going on in this investigation. It's cost us millions and millions of dollars, the special counsel investigation, and we still don't have the answers we need. This is what we need right now, and if they don't turn those documents over, I can guarantee that by June next week...
They're now saying contempt of Congress and possible impeachment, because I know that impeachment is being discussed among Congress.
Absolutely.
And by impeachment, not the president. We're talking about the deputy, acting attorney general, if you will, Rod Rosenstein.
Absolutely. That's what they're looking at right now. So we know we're in North Korea summit right now in the talks. I believe, and this is what I'm hearing, these are the rumblings, they don't want to disrupt the talks that are going on right now. But if they do not get those documents next week, they possibly will go after impeachment of Rod Rosenstein. And not only will they do that, they'll continue to do it every several days until they get an answer and until they get those documents.
You know, the fact that they have obstructed the way they have, I mean, they just keep missing deadlines. We wouldn't have had the Nunes memo if they had their way, because Rod Rosenstein up to the last minute was begging Paul Ryan not to hand them over to Devin Nunes. It became the Nunes memo, the Grassley-Graham memo, all predicated on the very documents they didn't want. That means we wouldn't have known a thing about FISA abuse, lying to FISA judges. You broke the story on March 7, 2017, that there were FISA warrants. We said at the time we didn't get it completely right because it was Trump Tower. But it was bigger than Trump Tower. It was the Trump campaign. And they literally got access by lying to a judge repeatedly in the original application, subsequent applications, lying to a judge, using information that a foreign national put together with Russian sources that Hillary paid for, funneled through a law firm. And it turns out that he even says, oh, no, I don't say this is true. This is raw intelligence under the threat of perjury during an interrogatory. Christopher Steele saying that maybe 50-50. How does that become the basis of a warrant, the hardest warrant to get, to spy on an American citizen and to spy on an opposition party campaign associate?
Bingo, because this is about a counterintelligence investigation that even occurred before the foreign intelligence surveillance warrant that was taken out on Carter Page. And people think about Carter Page, when they think Carter Page, they're thinking, oh, well, they were just monitoring Carter Page. Maybe there was some kind of connection between Carter Page and Russia. This was necessary for the U.S. government. Absolutely not. You're looking at secondary and tertiary warrants. When you look at Carter Page, they're picking up every single conversation Carter Page is having with somebody else, and then they can take those secondary conversations and pick up those with anybody they are having a conversation with. That's how they are collecting the information. But if you go back before the FISA application, you just look at previous months before that, you know that the counterintelligence investigation by the FBI, by the DOJ, was collecting all kinds of information. They did not need the FISA to collect the type of information that they were collecting. This is why Devin Nunes wants to see those documents. They want to know exactly what information was being collected and from who. Because if you go back months prior, all you have to do is look at London, England. Look at the information that was being delivered by countries like Estonia, Germany, and other allies to know that that was happening.
Sarah, one of the things that I'm predicting, all right, so here we are in the summit. They're meeting 9 o'clock Eastern when I'm on TV tonight, and I guarantee you that the IG report is probably going to start leaking Tuesday, which is New York, because they don't want this summit to, they want to use the summit as a means of burying, slowly dishing out maybe whatever information the IG has that is bad for the deep state, bad for the Department of Justice, bad for those people that were investigating Clinton's email server.
Yeah, but remember, it's not going to be so much Inspector General Michael Horowitz as it's going to be the Department of Justice, Rod Rosenstein, other folks
They're
at the
FBI.
Leakers. They're going to be the leakers here. Michael Horowitz is not going to leak. This is not how Michael Horowitz is made up. I know so many people that know him. Of course, there's concern.
But, Sarah, you know how we know that? We know that because for 18 months he's put it together. There haven't been leaks.
Absolutely.
But the only leaks now are coming. They've now had this almost 3 weeks at the Department of Justice, and they're begging him to make changes, and they're begging for redactions, and they're begging him to make all these changes to make them look better and be less explosive.
That's right. They're trying to get Michael Horowitz to redact a number of things in this over 400-page document from the Inspector General. The Inspector General is more than likely not going to be bullied around. And remember, all those leaks, Sean, those came from the DOJ and they came from the FBI. If we want to go all the way back to Crossfire Hurricane, the operation that the FBI conducted against the Trump campaign, the spies within the Trump campaign, let's go back to Spygate. You know, when they began discussing who the person was that was collecting the information on members of the Trump campaign, the only people that leaked that information, it was not Devin Nunes, it was never in a letter that he sent to them, it was from the DOJ themselves, and they leaked it to the Washington Post and to the New York Times. They consistently have been leaking information. Now the IG report's going to come out. We already saw McCabe is being held accountable. He has a criminal referral for basically lying under oath.
I want to remind people the order of that, because the McCabe report was pretty devastating. The criminal referral comes after. And so, for example, when we get the IG report Thursday, any criminal referrals that would say happened to McCabe, Comey, Strzok, likely people, if there's going to be criminal referrals, it's going to come out then.
Well, that's when they'll announce it. So as the Inspector General is investigating these, basically the FBI's handling of the Hillary Clinton server investigation, if he comes across anything that is a potential crime or a crime, at that moment in time, during his investigation, he has to turn that over to the Department of Justice. It doesn't mean that we would know about it. It means that after his report is concluded, then he would make that public. He would allow the
Here's
DOJ.
what I don't know. We already know the facts. And you know who told us? James Comey. Got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll continue with Sarah Carter and much, much more right here in Singapore. It's the Sean Hannity Show. All right, as we continue, Sara Carter is with us, investigative reporter. She's here in Singapore. IG report coming out later this week. Now the House Intel community is now really putting the screws to the DOJ because of their obstruction. And, of course, what's going on here with the summit. We know Hillary violated the Espionage Act. We know mishandling of classified, top secret, special access programming information is a crime. We know destruction of such is a crime. We also know, and this was the irony of what I did last week when I said, if I were to tell people that were told by Robert Mueller to hand over their phones, if I were to say that, it'd be a dumb idea. It's not going to work out well. Ha ha, I'm kidding, bad idea. I said all these things, and everyone in the media got upset, but she did all of it. That's obstruction. And then it was fixed. You don't write an exoneration before investigation.
She did all of that, and she also had a private server which she was using to conduct government business. A private server which, by the way, I've been speaking to a number of people in the IT world and in the intelligence world, which was done very badly. It was very junior varsity, and we know for certain, at least the people that I've been talking to, that country and nation states like China, like Russia and others were able to penetrate her server with classified information.
Well, the first draft of Comey Strzok's exoneration said that very thing. And people forget that. Then they took it out, just like they took out the legal definition, reckless mishandling of classified information. Gross negligence.
Gross negligence,
right.
Yes. And they try to lessen the blow. But look, they are going to have to answer a lot of questions. This is why Michael Horowitz held off, because remember, he was waiting for Comey to go out there and talk, release his book, continue talking. And how many times did Comey get caught in flat-out lies?
How many times did I say before his book release, Comey, bad idea. You do have the right to remain silent, which he should have. Anybody letting him write that book and do that tour was nuts. All right, stay right there. We are in Singapore.